Hi everyone. So, yeah, conspiracy spoilers day one, and I kind of said I wasn't gonna do yesterday the conspiracy spoilers, but I figured, what the hell? I'm available. I can talk about them. So, yeah, and then the Kaladesh spoilers will start up very soon after that. So we'll just segue into those. So I figured, fuck it, why not? And yeah, Kaladesh. Now, I didn't get a chance to actually really talk about Kaya Ghost Assassin. I might as well talk about it right now. Kaya Ghost Assassin, 2 generic, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 1 white, 5 loyalty, so she's 5 loyalty for 4 mana. Pretty good bell curve. 0 ability, she can exile herself or up to 1 target creature. Return that card to the battlefield under your owner's control. Under the beginning of your next upkeep, you lose 2 life. It's a reset ability, more or less, when using it on herself. It incorporates basically the lore of her being able to go incorporeal, or incorporeal, sorry. Really good reset ability, especially if you're gaining life with the other, like the -1 ability, or you have any other life gain going on in the game, which I have a feeling if you're in black and white, you're going to have other life gain going on. But each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. And then -2, each opponent discards a card, you draw a card. That's not for each, it's just for, and by the way, there she is. By the way, not only do we get another female planeswalker, we get another African-American black planeswalker, which is cool. More diversity. Always appreciate more diversity in the Magic universe. We don't get enough of that. Not for lack of trying or anything like that, but we don't get enough of that. Anyway, and come on, there we go. So yeah, overall, I'm not a huge black-white player. I do have a black-white deck, and it's fun to use. Oddly enough, even though I'm a blue-green fan the most, black-white was actually my first actual deck I ever had. It was a black-white cleric deck from the Apocalypse Onslaught block. It was but it was fun for what it was. So I do have a soft spot for the color combination itself. But overall, it's a fine card in its own right. It's able to reset itself. So good on that. Then we get into our actual cards of the day. We have Queen, is it Marchesa or Chesa? Basically, Grixis. Oh no, actually, it's not Orzhov. Mardu, black, white, red. I actually thought it was Grixis colors for a second there. But Queen Marchesa, she's a 1 generic, 1 white, 1 black, 1 red, 3/3. Does she have Death Touch? I think she has Death Touch. Yes, she has Haste and Death Touch. And she has a new ability known as, there we go. When the Queen enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. There she is in all her royal glory. And there you can see a reflection of something in the thing there. There we go. Yep. But you become the monarch. Basically, an emblem comes on the battlefield saying you're the monarch. And when you're the monarch, I believe, as they put it, whoever holds it, how did they put it? As the emblem, whoever has this is the monarch, and whenever damage is dealt to you, that player becomes combat damage dealt to the player. That player becomes the monarch. So it's and then you get benefits for being the monarch, something like that. But more or less, at the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponent is the monarch, basically, if you're the monarch, things happen with these cards. Put a +1/+1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and Haste onto the battlefield. So if you're the monarch, it encourages them to actually not be the monarch. That way they can get some assassins, just kind of compile a little bit of an army, and then just swing in and hit you. Overall, she's a fine card. Is she Mythic status, though? Death Touch Haste for 4 mana at 3/3 is nothing to sniff at, but the multiplayer blocks are hard for me to judge because I don't play a lot of multiplayer, but I wouldn't know if I'd gauge her completely as Mythic. This one's on one of the actual draft cards, Palino Vanguard, 1 white, 1 generic, 2/2, human soldier, draft and face up. As you draft a creature card, you may reveal it. Note its creature type, then turn, forgive me if I mispronounce, Palliano Vanguard face down. Other creatures you control of a type you noted for cards named Palliano Vanguard get +1/+1. Yeah, okay, so this card is completely and early for draft, 100%. I don't play Draft. But if I did play Draft, I'd say it's a pretty decent card. But you got to be, it's a tribal card kind of, because you have to be in a creature, heavy in a creature type. And in Draft, that's a hard thing to do sometimes. Then we have a new conspiracy card, or several new conspiracy cards. This one's a rare. Hold the Perimeter. As any conspiracy card, if you're not aware of what it does, you play. You think of it as you're playing Commander, except you play this face up in its command zone because this is a rare, and you play it face up. At the beginning of your first upkeep, put a 1/2 white soldier creature token with Defender onto the battlefield. At the beginning of each other player's first upkeep, the player puts a 1/1 red goblin creature token on the battlefield. This creature, can't be blocked. So I do like the flavor behind that. You make the Sentinel, it's a 1/2, so the Goblin can't get through the Sentinel, and the Goblin creature can't block. It's just there to attack. So attack, attack, attack. Now that being said, you're going to get outnumbered real fast. If you're in a 4-on-4 game, well, 4-person game, you're going to get outnumbered real fast with this card. So it's a double-edged sword, this card. We also have another one, a green conspiracy. Natural Unity. Hidden Agenda. Start the game with this. Is that the way it always is? Oh, yeah. That's the way most of these conspiracy are, is Hidden Agenda. You start with it face down. You secretly name a card. You may turn this face up anytime you reveal the chosen names. Whenever... Wrong one. Creatures you control, the chosen name, have... At the beginning of your combat turn, you may pay 1 green... If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Again, I don't play the Conspiracy. I don't play Commander very much, so hard for me to judge that. If I were to judge it more as a combat trick, which it is, you're pretty much getting it 4 times at most, which is how you're kind of getting it. But it's designed in a way that it's more of an enchantment that you can only use 4 times than a... Unless you're able to bring the card back from the grave. In this case, you could possibly use it more. Another one, Summoner's Bond, another conspiracy, another uncommon. This one is double agenda, though. Start the game with this conspiracy face down in the commander zone. Secretly name a card that is different. Secretly name 2 different cards. You may turn this conspiracy face up anytime and reveal those anytime. Wait, what? Face up anytime and reveal the chosen names. That's interesting. That's a different one. Whenever you cast a creature spell with one or the chosen names, you may search your library for a creature card with the other chosen names. Reveal it, and okay, that's how it works. So you can reveal this one anytime. This one's a bit more interesting because it's a search engine effect, and you get 2 for the buck basically on it because you're naming 2 creatures. You can play them you can intertwine them basically. So playing this creature to get this creature, then I'll play that creature to get another copy of that creature. If you're running 4 copies of said creatures, you're getting the benefit for that. So it's actually a pretty decent one. Then we got Knight of the Black Rose, which is the whoa. I just clicked on the wrong one. Sorry, 1 second. Knight of the Black. There we go. Knight of the Black Rose, a white, black, 3 generic knight creature, human knight, 4/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it becomes the monarch. Whenever an opponent becomes the monarch, if you were the monarch as the turn began, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. There they are, marching. That's a pretty solid. That actually benefits you from losing the monarchy and then just gaining it back maybe in the next turn. Because this is strictly for you. This effect is strictly for you because unless they control one themselves. So no matter what, no matter how many times you lose the monarchy, as long as you gain it back, you'll get the effect from it. So as long as you can just keep going back and forth, maybe just some small pingers, it could definitely be beneficial. Then we got Lieutenant of the Guard, a 4 generic 1 white 2/2 human soldier, and there it is. Aha! Council Dilemma. This is when they brought the voting ability back. So whenever this creature enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for strength or numbers. Put a +1/+1 counter on Lieutenant's Guard for each strength vote, and a +1/+1 white soldier creature token for each each numbers vote. So again, I do occasionally actually play these in one-on-one games because you'll still get the value, just not as much. This one is interesting because if it's again a four-person game is usually the most common scenario you're going to find yourself in with these kind of cards. I can see this thing. I can see people just pumping up to a big creature so they don't have to deal with that. Or actually, no, I can see them doing the opposite. Just small fry so they don't have to deal with a big fucker in the long run. But that being said, you'll still, if you want it big, you'll still at least give it 1 vote. So it'll be a 3/3 with probably 3 1/1s. Unless you're using Illusion of Choice, which is a blue, one blue instant. Draw a card, or actually, you choose how each player votes this turn, draw a card. Then you can just fuck with people. You got 4 copies of that with a bunch of other cards that do things like that. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see it. Some interesting combat tricks being done with that. Jeering Homunculus, which is, this card's basically a play on flip. What was it? I can't remember the actual day, but you remember the card from Return from Ravnica where it was the poor little guy, poor little homunculus, like in the crowd's like, oh, you always hate the crowd, and he's flipping, he's become like an icon character now. Well, Jeering Homunculus is similar to that. He's a 0/4 blue homunculus, 1 blue, 1 generic. There he is, going, rare. Except when Jeering Homunculus enters the battlefield, you may goad target creature. Goad is until the next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able, and attacks a player other than you if able. You really only want to use these in multiplayer games. So even a 3-person game, you want to use this card as opposed to a 1-person game. And then it's not flip, it's Micklith. Always hated crowds, and they always hated him. Then we have Deputized Protester, Menace, and a new ability, Melee. 2/1, 2 generic, 1 red. Melee is whenever a creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn for each opponent you attacked with a creature this combat. So only really good if you're doing like super mass chump block or chump attacker damage or attacks, excuse me. So little token attacks, giant massive armies of those. So really only decent ability when you're doing that. Sovereign's Reign, 1 of 2 apparently Mythic conspiracies. Start the game with this card face up. Your deck can't have basic lands, and your starting hand size is 5. We'll get to the other stuff, but that's not a good way to start a game, folks. Exile a card from your hand. This turn you may play basic land cards from outside the game. Basic land cards have add 1 mana of any color. Why the fuck would you want to run this? I mean, it's cool. It's great art, but there's no value in that whatsoever. Okay, the only value you're getting really is the fact that the mana is the mana is any color you want. That's the only benefit you're getting. That ain't worth it. So yeah, I wouldn't talk about that. I'm gonna have to speed this up a little bit because I'm on a timetable. Crown Hunter Hireling is an ogre mercenary, 4 generic, 1 red, 4/4. Yeah, enters the battlefield, you crown the monarch. Can't attack unless the Fang player is the monarch. So, yeah. It's a good way to lock someone up, especially if you're maybe like running a burn strategy. If you can make someone the monarch, then they can't attack. The defending player has to be the monarch to attack. So then they're screwed. It's actually a cute little combat trick. I could see actually using that. Besmirch, it's basically act of treason with goad attached to it. Okay. Capital Punishment, our vote card for black, 4 generic, 2 black. Starting with each player, death or taxes. Each opponent voted for each opponent's sacrifice. Each opponent sacrifices a creature for each death vote and discards a card for each tax vote. Domesticated Hydra brings back Monstrosity, 2 generic, 2 green, 3/3. Monstrosity, 3 green X. As long as Domesticated Hydra is monstrous. It has trample. I do like the art. The art's kind of fun. One of the heads has got a muzzle, the other just being, whatever. And it's a predation, 4 green to 4 generic, 2 green. Jesus, with just drafting. I'm just gonna go as you draft this face up. Remove a creature. As you draft a card, you may remove it from the draft face up. These cards aren't in your card pool. A remove creature card with fly. If you remove a creature card flying, this creature has flying, and so forth and so on. Maybe, I don't know, draft is something hard for me to judge. Inquisition of Kozilek comes back. Don't think we really need to know what that does. Great. It is a great card, though. I had 2 copies myself. 2 generic, 2 blue for Arcane Servant, 3/3, Human Wizard. Before you shuffle your deck to start the game, you may reveal this card from your deck and exile an instant or sorcery card you drafted that isn't in your deck. When it enters the battlefield, copy a card you exile with this card's name. You may cast the card without paying its mana cost. So, and that's basically it. That one's actually pretty. That one you could get some value out of, definitely. All depends what you exile and how you play the card, but you could definitely get some value out of that, I think. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow for the next video, and the subsequent days for the subsequent videos. If you have any ideas for who wins, put those in the comments. Idea for if you want to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll get to it at some point. This week's Kubo and 2 Strings. I have my who would win. I've got superhero video. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So thanks for watching. See you next time.